All right. Um, yeah, so a little twist on the formula, I suppose, because for the 24th, I watched a TV show instead of a movie. Not a full TV show, just the first episode. Um, and like with TV now, the way it works, a lot of episodes tend to be in about an hour. So I was like, okay, I was recommended this, so I wanted to check it out. And good. The show I'm going to be talking about, or episode one of the show from. Um, Man, honestly, just great first episode. It's again, like whenever I talk about like pacing, right, for horror movies, the thing I'm referring to is if it's like well paced. Honestly, the most important thing to me is like the first 10 or so minutes, and then the last like 15 or so minutes, or last 15 or so minutes of like actual movie, not like credits and stuff. Which is why I usually say, oh, it's like an hour 40, but really like hour 30. You cut off 10 minutes for credits usually. But with this, honestly, it's just paced like a good movie, right? This hour long episode. Um, and that first, well, now it's like 5 minutes, right? Since it's a bit shorter. But that first 5 minutes, like the initial intrigue, really, like the show just grabbed me like straight off the bat, because it's one of those settings that I kind of like where the the actual like place that like the characters are going to be at, the actual like set, it's sort of like lost to time, if you get what I'm saying by that. And I mean, I'll elaborate, but what I mean is everything kind of seems a bit old fashioned. You have like your diner and like stuff like that, which you can have diners now, but there's like a way it's presented that makes it feel a bit older fashioned. I want to say like maybe 1980s era, because they don't have any technology really either. So that's another thing, right? That kind of makes it seem like it'd take place back then. But everything about their demeanor, the way and all that, it feels very modern. So I was interested in that regard. And I mean, my assumption kind of came true a little bit once I watched more of the episode. But yeah, just this place sort of like lost in time, and like these people just kind of living here. And it's like, well, like what's going on? You know what I mean? Just like asking myself these questions, like, okay, like what's like this is a pretty interesting setup so far. Like what's gonna happen? And then obviously, like as it gets like closer to nighttime, they're like all being told to like like go stay in their home. So it's like, okay, something comes at night. Again, just like answering these questions like to myself in my head. Um, and then obviously the first like scare of the movie is the little girl opens her window for some kind of like entity to come in. It's sort of like fakes being her like grandmother to make her lower her guard, and she gets in the house and kills her and the mom. Spoilers, by the way. Um, and that first and that's like probably the first like 7-10 minutes of the episode. More like, yeah, like 7 minutes. But so it's like, okay, like now I'm kind of hooked like on this. And I mean, there's about like 50 minutes left, so it's like, okay, let's see where this is goes. I'm liking it so far. um, but for me personally, that works like completely fine, right? It is just it gets into it for me. And he gets into it like very fast, and like enough to like keep me invested, because then obviously after that first like 10 or so minutes is like when you get the slow bit where you're like being introduced to characters. And that's what happens in this. You're kind of going back and forth between a family that's on the road, vacationing more likely than not, and then like your townspeople, and you're seeing these like two different like lives being lived. And it's like, all right, I'm just waiting for the moment where they're gonna intervene, or intercept one another, right? um, so like at that point you're just along for the ride. You start to hear more and more about the consequences of the things happening in the town, like after these people were killed by these entities. And you sort of learn that like this is just like a everyday sort of thing for these people. So I mean, again, just like more intrigue, right? It's like, all right, like we need some answers on this. And then finally the family comes through the town. And it's like, whenever I say lost to time, I sort of mean it like in a very literal sense, like where they are, like in the town setting. It's sort of what's the word? like they're just like in like a little pocket reality, I guess, right? Because obviously the thing with this town is like it sort of loops in on itself. Like they go off a main road, and that's how they get there in the first place. But whenever they try to leave, they get looped right back to it. So they're sort of just like separated from reality at that point. Which again, I think is pretty interesting. Again, like a few stories have probably done that before. Um, can't name any off the top of my head, but it's definitely something. Oh, I guess you know the example I'll give. John Carpenter again, Mouth of Madness, right? The one scene specifically where like you know they're going down the road and it just seems like they're passing through like the same straight like over and over again, but then again like in the on like the main town road, the Jurassic Park guy like keeps going and then he'll like loop back onto it and just like find the same crowd standing there again. You know, he's just like looped in on himself, and that's kind of how it is in this show. Like that's the setup, um, and you know it's still more mystery. It's like okay, so why is it like this, and like why aren't the townsfolk like initially being very helpful to them? You know, and like my assumption on that is like they're just trying to get them used to what their like new reality is going to end up being, right? It's like a little maybe twisted, wrong word, but you know, like they want them to come to terms of it all like on their own, which I guess is quite nice when you think about it, right? Um, but then obviously with the family, they end up like colliding with another vehicle, so that becomes like another just like element of the story, like in the last 20 minutes, where now the townsfolk have to go try to save the family before night comes, because you know whenever night comes, that's when those creatures come out. So again, just like ends off like on a very like suspenseful, like high energy kind of note. Makes you want the second episode. Um, yeah, but honestly, just enjoy this a lot as like a pure, you know, like if I were gonna relate it to a movie, it'd be like a short film sort of thing, right? Hour long, more like 47 minutes. But yeah, just enjoyable and engaging the whole way. And I mean, I feel like I talked about engagement before with the movie, or like well any type of media really, right? I feel like anything that's properly engaging you, it's gonna make you ask questions to yourself, or like you know make you wanna like communicate like how you're feeling about it like at the time, and that's kind of what marks like good media for me. You know, in general, like movies, TV, music, games, right? Anything that has you properly engaged is you know typically like a tier higher in my head. And this first episode definitely had me engaged. I'm actually really bad at watching TV, honestly. I've seen a few like big shows here and there, but just like casual TV stuff, I don't know. It's just never really been for me because there's like a lot of TV, and I mean, you know, bad excuse because there's a lot of movies as well, right? But I think it's just like a time commitment thing. Because I mean, with a TV show, I mean, take this show From for example, right? I think the first season has about like 8 episodes, 8 9 episodes, and each of them are about 45 minutes to like an hour long. Um, so I mean, multiply that by 8 or 9, right? And that's I'll, I'll embarrass myself. 2 3, that's like a little over 9 hours maybe of content, when I could just watch, you know, 9 movies, right? Or you know, like 7 movies, 6 maybe, instead of just like one whole show. That's you know, it's like a bad like mindset to kind of have, I guess. I mean, you know, especially if you just want to like consume stuff sometimes. But I don't know. This one I definitely like, so I'll invest my time into it. And I mean, why not, right? But yeah, great first episode. Felt very intrigued the whole way through. So yeah, I'm gonna have to keep on it. Might update whenever I finish it, or at least like season 1, right? And just kind of talk about it since I've already brought it up now. Um, but yeah, so this was a bit different. No movie this time around. Just TV show. Um I'll I'll get back on the movies after this, but you know, just wanted to check this out since it was recommended to me, and I was like, you know what, I got kind of busy, so I'm like, all right, well, you know, I'll just count that as the as like the movie for the day, and just kind of go off that. But no, very excited about this actually. been meaning to pick up a TV show, but I mean, again, there's just like so many that are like they're on the list, right? I don't know if y'all have like a list of just like, shit you need to go through, but yeah, so I guess this is on the list now, very impromptu, like, but it's whatever. I think it should be enjoyable though. I mean, with how good the first one was, I'm kind of hoping it keeps that energy throughout. But yeah, we'll see. Take care.